Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Get ready. It is going to be wet the next couple of days. Flash flood watch remains in effect through Thursday afternoon, and there's the potential for some strong to severe storms as well.
Cities and states are ditching their mask mandates after the CDC's new guidelines. I'm Micah Jachi reporting in Washington. Coming up, why some states are saying not so fast.
And we had some big wind gusts move through the area overnight as it affected power in pockets in our area. We also have some damage being reported here in the KSAT 12 viewing area. And a good morning to you. It's Tuesday. It is May 18th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. And also, when you walk outside, you can kind of feel it's not as humid as it was yesterday morning.
Let's see how things are looking right now. I don't know if Mike is next, or are we covering power outages right here?
Power outages.
All right, let's take a look at that right now. And here they are. We're looking at last check, and this has been fluctuating all night long. We're just under 19,500 customers without power. That's 151 outages. But notice how widespread this is in and around San Antonio. Right now, CPS crews working as fast as they can to fix things.
Let's go ahead and check with Mike right now.
Yeah, it was very windy. We had those gusts upwards of about, some reports, 57 and 65 mile per hour wind gusts down on the south side near Stinson overnight. And then, 30, 35, close to 40 elsewhere. So, yes, it was very wide, but those were some of the highest wind gusts that we saw overnight. And not a whole lot, if any, rain here in town proper. There is plenty of it well down to the south and east. And we've got a couple of more cells that are starting to pop up coming across 90 just to the east of Hondo. That's working its way in toward Bexar County, also down around Pearsall. And notice how little red dots are starting to form up right there. Excuse me. Those may continue to build up. We'll probably see a couple of lightning strikes, too. There's some lightning strikes out there up around Junction. Nothing severe for our area right now as far as severe thunderstorm watches and or warnings. But, of course, we do have the flash flood watch that is in effect. 75 degrees right now, low to mid 70s, about the same as what it was yesterday. Wind right now is about 10, 15 miles per hour. We still have a couple of gusts out there, 29 in New Braunfels, 26 in Pleasanton. And we are going to be seeing gusty winds, 30, 35, close to 40 miles per hour throughout the rest of today. We do have a moderate amount of mold out there as of right now, and throughout the rest of today, temperatures are pretty much going to be staying steady this morning. A couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms, winds very breezy, and then 82 for a high temperature. Storms, some heavy rain, and potentially some severe storms. There is the flash flood watch. It was issued yesterday. Could see an additional 2 to 6 inches and some isolated pockets that are even more than that, especially off to the east. And this is in effect up until Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And then also today there is the severe threat, and Storm Prediction Center has now moved the yellow area, the slight risk, which is about a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5, covering most all of our area. High winds and hail are going to be the biggest threats. Very small chance for an isolated tornado, and still a severe threat around tomorrow. I think the heaviest rain, though, is actually going to be coming in here tomorrow. We'll have some heavy rain today, but tomorrow, I think, is the day we really start to see some heavy rain. Is there an end in sight? Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos, what's the latest, sir?
Yeah, Mike, we're definitely going to be keeping a close eye on the roads to see how that weather may impact drivers' commute, but we are already spotting some big problems this morning. Take a look over here. This is the view at TransGuide from 35 and FM 1103. You can see we have first responders that have been out there throughout the night working to clear a crash scene, and you can see that traffic is already starting to build further back in the southbound lanes of 35s. Now, let's take a closer look on the map and see how that's really creating problems for drivers this morning. You can see right there the traffic is starting to build. Again, this is in the southbound lanes of 35. So drivers, if you're heading out in that route this morning, be sure to give those first responders, again, plenty of room to get that scene clear, or maybe find an alternative route, because you can expect some big delays right there. But that's definitely something we're going to be keeping a close eye on throughout the morning. Other than that, things are looking pretty good. But again, that crash is going to be the big thing we're going to be keeping an eye on, aside from weather impacts as well. But take a look. The drive time right now, about 33 minutes in the southbound lanes from New Braunfels to downtown. So a little bit higher than normal, but nothing too major right now. One last look here at TransGuide. Again, a big headache for drivers that are in that route direction this morning. But again, give those first responders plenty of room to clear that scene. We're going to be keeping a close eye here in the traffic lab. Mark, Stephanie, back to you.
New this morning, San Antonio police still looking for a suspect. They say shot a man multiple times on the city's south side last night. That man is now in critical condition. Happened just before 10 p.m. SAPD says officers were called to the intersection of Tabor Avenue and West South Cross after several shots were fired. Officers say they found the victim with gunshot wounds in the driver's seat of a white pickup truck. The passenger was unhurt. It's unclear if the shooting happened while the man was driving or parked. EMS rushed the man to Brooke Army Medical Center. Police do not have a motive for the shooting at this time. President Joe Biden says by today, 60% of adults will have received at least one vaccine dose.
And with coronavirus cases falling nationwide, several states are beginning to drop their mask mandates. ABC's Ika Jachi has the latest from Washington.
It's the question on many minds this morning.
Should I take my mask off? Should I leave it on? It's super confusing. I think it's a little too soon.
Mask mandates. Right now, the country is inching towards recovery. Nearly 60% of people ages 12 and up have received at least one vaccine dose.
Every day, the light at the end of that tunnel is growing brighter.
One by one, states are choosing to adopt the CDC's new relaxed mask guidelines for vaccinated Americans. The varying requirements compounded by businesses. Chains like Starbucks, Walmart, Trader Joe's, and Costco, and now Home Depot and Target, dropping their mask rules, but only in states without mask mandates. Nearly 2/3 of Americans are not yet fully vaccinated, making some people hesitant.
I'm going to wear mine for a long time until I feel comfortable not wearing it.
But many experts stress the risk of contracting COVID-19 if you're fully vaccinated, it's low.
These vaccines are extraordinary, and they will protect you even if you're spending time with unvaccinated people.
The White House supports the CDC's new guidelines, saying you don't have to trust your fellow American, you only have to trust the science. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
Here at home, there's a special Fiesta-themed vaccine clinic happening this weekend. 900 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be made available and no appointment is needed. It will be happening at the 2600 block of Southwest Military Drive from 9 a.m. to noon, and that's Saturday.
This morning, tensions continue to rise in the Mideast. It's the latest attack. The Israeli military unleashed a wave of airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, saying it destroyed militant tunnels and the homes of 9 Hamas commanders. President Biden has expressed support for a ceasefire between Israel and the militant group Hamas. Rulers in a call to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. However, Biden stopped short of demanding an immediate stop. 8 days of Israeli airstrikes and Hamas rocket barrages. So far, at least 200 people have been killed.
President Biden developing a presidential pardon process with a focus on racial justice and equity. Instead of waiting to the end of his time in office, the White House is signaling to activists that Biden could start issuing pardons before the middle of his term. According to a source, the White House is already in the process of reviewing clemency applications. The White House is working with the Justice Department's Office of the Pardon Attorney to vet the applicants.
The Supreme Court has ruled against police who entered a man's home and seized his guns without a warrant. The case goes back to 2015. That's when Edward Caniglia of Rhode Island placed a gun on his dining room table and asked his wife to shoot him following an argument. She left, went to a hotel, called police the next morning. They determined he was a risk to himself and called an ambulance to take him to a hospital. They then seized his weapons. The justices unanimously agreed that doing so was not covered under the Fourth Amendment's community caretaking exception.
And time now is 4:38 and about 80 degrees right now.
Next, a look ahead to a very important game tomorrow night for our San Antonio Spurs.
And taking a look outside with a live cam, we're actually in the mid-70s right now. It's a little cooler than it was yesterday morning because we had a lot of wind overnight.
And right now, looking at radar, the bigger storms have now moved down towards Corpus Christi and Victoria. But if you look back towards the west and northwest of San Antonio, new storms have started to fire. Mike will have an update coming up. Good morning and welcome back to GMSA 441. If the Spurs are going to make the playoffs and avoid their second straight season of failing to make the postseason, they'll have to win 2 games on the road in the NBA's new play-in tournament. That's after they lost to the Suns in back-to-back games at home. Spurs finished the regular season at 33-39 in 10th position in the Western Conference. The Memphis Grizzlies will now host the Spurs tomorrow, with the winner advancing to play another play-in game, and the loser's season is over. Spurs do have a winning record on the road at 19-17, better than at home, which is at 14-22. That is a first in franchise history. Let's talk baseball. Tonight, fans will finally get to see the San Antonio Missions in person. It'll be all week long, since this year the Missions will only face one team per week. The Missions are scheduled to take on the Frisco Rough Riders tonight through Sunday at Wolf Stadium, starting at 7:05 each night. But it's so nice to know the lights will be back on out at the Wolf. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, it seems like a long time ago we were talking about the game being here, and now it's finally here.
We're already at the 18th. 4:42 on your Tuesday morning.
And coming up next, airlines are seeing more and more people acting up on airplane flights. What airline officials are doing to try to make passengers behave. And welcome back. It's about 4:45. Airlines are seeing an alarming increase in passengers behaving badly, and the FAA is now imposing huge fines in the hope of getting it under control. ABC's Mona Kassar-Abdi has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, cracking down on unruly passengers. Now this week, the FAA proposing its biggest fine yet this year. More than $52,000 for a passenger who officials say tried to open the cockpit door on a Delta flight from Honolulu to Seattle before allegedly striking a flight attendant in the face.
In my experience as a commercial airline captain for more than 27 years, unruly passenger incidents themselves are nothing new. But as I said, we have seen an alarming increase in the rate over the last few months, and it's something that we need to get under control. So that's why we adopted the zero tolerance policy.
And we'll have much more on proposed new fines coming up at 7 a.m. Plus, with more and more Americans flying, we'll have the expert tips for getting the flight you want without breaking the bank. With your GMA First Look, I'm Mona Kassar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
We're going to talk to Mike about overnight storms and what else could happen this week coming up.
But let's go ahead and check the roadways first with Stephen Cavazos.
Yeah, Mark and Steph, looks like this crash that we had happening over here at 35 and FM 1103 is starting to clear, or at least they've opened up at least one lane. You can take a look here at TransGuide again. This is a view from FM 1103 at 35, or 35 at FM 1103. That is, traffic is starting to move in that southbound lane, but rather slowly still. So again, if this is your route to work or your destination this morning, just again, give those first responders plenty of room to get that scene clear, because it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, at least anytime soon within the next few minutes. Now, taking a look here, closer look, you can see that traffic has slowed down to about 14 miles per hour further back. So do expect those delays as well along 35 southbound lanes coming into San Antonio. But taking a look on the map, there's no real issues that are happening here right now. But of course, we are going to be keeping a very close eye on things throughout the morning here in the traffic lab. Let's take a look at inbound times right now, about 27 minutes on 281 from Bulverde to downtown. Right now, we're also looking about a 32-minute drive time in that New Braunfels area on 35 as well. Now, while we will be keeping a close eye on that crash and the roadways this morning, one thing that drivers want to keep in mind is with these power outages, some traffic signals could be down. So treat those intersections as four-way stops, and be sure to give those drivers plenty of room and be courteous as well to your fellow drivers out there, and make sure everybody gets to their destination safely. Guys?
Thank you, Stephen. Mike, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, and watch out for just stuff in the road, too. You know, garbage cans, anything else, tree limbs, because, boy, those winds last night, don't know about you, woke me up out of a sound sleep. It was really howling out there. And this is, at least they can find a little humor in it. Bird, plane, nope, it's a carport. And there was a lot of damage down. Reported around, some of the highest wind gusts were reported down on the near south side, right around Stinson Airport. Out there on the roads right now, it is fairly dry. A lot of that big area of rain moved down in our southern counties. Going to show you that in just a second. Dew point temperatures off the top of the show. Steph was mentioning, yeah, it is more comfortable when you step outside this morning. We did see a little bit of a break in the humidity. Don't get used to it, however. Here's going back 12 hours on the satellite and radar. We had some of those storms pop up yesterday afternoon. And then one of the computer models we were showing yesterday did a really good job picking up this system, which did develop here. And that's the one kind of on the heels of it. It sort of developed a little bit of a low, and that's why we've had those very, very gusty winds. This same computer model now this afternoon is picking up another one of these thunderstorm clusters right here, which will be working its way to the east throughout the afternoon hours. hours. Some heavy downpours can be expected with this. Now, this won't be the only batch of rain, but this is the one that this is kind of focusing on. And then also potentially severe storms with that. And then going into tonight and tomorrow. Now, watch what happens tomorrow. And this is why I think tomorrow is going to be the wettest day. We do have somewhat of a front moving down through here, and that thing is really going to be the focal point for more showers and thunderstorms. It looks like it's going to be very wet overnight for the morning commute tomorrow and throughout the rest of the morning, and then even into the afternoon as this thing just sort of lies across the area. We'll have a lot of widespread heavy rain, showers, and thunderstorms, and this is throughout the day tomorrow and then going into the evening hours. And like I said, as far as heavy rain, with the ground saturated from some of the storms we've had, and then even the past couple of weeks, additional 2 to 6 inches is going to be possible. This is through the weekend, which means we're going to be seeing more rain all the way through the weekend. Some isolated amounts even greater than that. That's the the flash flood watch that is in effect. And again, here's the outlook for it. Most of the rain is going to be off to the east and to the northeast. Still, I mean, some decent rain amounts. This is the lesser amounts, which is still 1 inch to 2 inches of rain in portions of the western hill country. And of course, there is the severe threat today. All of the area is under the risk for severe weather, the marginal risk, the green. And then this is just to compare to yesterday. Remember, the yellow was out in portions of the hill country. And the latest update is Storm Prediction Center has moved this now to the east to cover a good chunk of our viewing area. High winds and hail. Isolated tornado can't be ruled out, but primarily it's going to be the high winds and the hail, and then the heavy rain, which is something that's going to affect a lot of folks. So 79 degrees today at noon, showers, a couple of thunderstorms around. We'll see some of them popping up this morning, and then showers and storms, heavy downpours, maybe severe later on this afternoon, 82 for a high temperature. We will have more rain tomorrow, and again, I think the heaviest rain is going to be tomorrow, maybe a little bit lesser chance for something to be severe, and then severe threat kind of goes out of the picture, looks like by Thursday, but we're still going to have rain around in through not constantly, but rain through off and on through the weekend. And it's going to be heavy, so flooding, and I think especially tomorrow widespread. We've got to watch for the heavy downpours today, but tomorrow especially.
Tomorrow especially. All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. 4:52 on your Tuesday morning.
And coming up next, a first look at a new documentary featuring the musical career of former Beatle Sir Paul McCartney.
Your pick 3 numbers, 368 Fireball 4, Daily 4, 5505 Fireball 3.
Cash 5, 8, 15, 18, 23, 35. Your text is 2-step, 7, 13, 20, 28. Bonus ball 25.
A pop music superstar, now married, plus Sir Paul McCartney talks about his music career in a new documentary.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
It doesn't always have to be Boys to Men.
Hello? Tonight, it's Boys and Blackish. Boys to Men guest star on the season finale of the ABC sitcom, and the group Sean Stockman tells me he's been a fan of the show from the beginning.
It tackles real-life issues that people struggle with, go through, laugh at, cry to today, which makes it relevant.
ABC announced last week that Blackish will end after next season. She sang about 7 rings, and now she has a wedding ring. Pop music superstar Ariana Grande is a married woman. She and real estate agent Dalton Gomez got hitched in a secret ceremony over the weekend, her rep confirms to ABC News. The two got engaged in December and have been dating almost a year and a half.
We realized, we were writing songs that were memorable, not because we wanted them to be memorable, but because we had to remember them.
Sir Paul McCartney spilling all of his musical secrets. The former Beatle will sit down with legendary music producer Rick Rubin for a 6-episode Hulu series that'll cover the entirety of McCartney's musical career. McCartney 321 will debut July 16th. And happy birthday today to Tina Fey. The actress, writer, and producer is 51. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's about 4 till right now.
And still ahead on GMSA, lots of extreme weather expected in the south over the next 24 hours. We're going to tell you what areas you should expect to see flooding.
And foldable phone technology keeps getting better and better. We'll take a first look at Samsung's new batch of futuristic displays coming up in Tech Bites.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, how much did you buy online during lockdown and how much of it did you actually need? We're going to tell you how to turn that quarantine clutter into cash.
And checking the roads with TransGuide. Again, we're looking at 35 out there at 11:03. The main lanes still appear to be closed, so look at all the traffic on the frontage road. This appears to be affecting southbound 35 out at FM 11:03.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
It is going to be a wet week, and we are looking at some very heavy rain all around the area. As a matter of fact, some folks, especially to the east and northeast, may see close to 6 inches of rain or even more than that before it's all said and done.
And we're keeping a close eye here in the traffic lab. Some major issues in Comal County. We have a full report on the roadways coming up.
And even more extreme weather expected today across the south with parts of Texas, Louisiana. Expect to see up to 20 inches of rain over the next 24 hours.
And taking a live look outside with live cam, a lot of people still without power this morning.
And good morning to you. It is Tuesday. It is May 18th, and we have a lot to talk about this morning.
Yes, thanks for being with us. Let's go ahead and look at the power outages around the city. Right now, we are looking at about 164 outages with about 19,000 customers affected.
The bulk of them appear to be west and southwest of downtown San Antonio, but do we have outages just about everywhere this morning? We'll keep an eye on those for you right here on GMSA as we hope the situation continues to improve after some overnight storms.
Let's go ahead and check in with Mike, who is over there tracking those storms.
Yeah, we had some very, very strong winds overnight. Wind gusts reported down on the south side of town, down around Stinson Airport, anywhere from 57, 65 miles per hour. Did a lot of damage, as well as a lot of trees down, things like that. Obviously, power lines knocked down. We're at 75 degrees right now. Wind for the time being is out of the north, and that has pulled in slightly drier air. So you step outside when you have that dew point of 66, it is more comfortable for the time being than what it was yesterday. We're going to make it up into the low 80s later on today, and a very good chance for more showers and thunderstorms throughout the rest of the day. The aquifer went up 0.2 of a foot. That should be going up by leaps and bounds once we get in toward the end of the week, and then even into the first part of next week. And as far as the allergens, mold is moderate, grass is low. Mold is probably going to be going up as well, just given the fact we've got a very wet forecast out there. This is what it looks like on radar right now. We had that cluster of thunderstorms that moved through our southern and southeastern counties in the overnight hours, and we had sort of a low developing on the backside of that, and that's what helped with those very, very strong winds. And then if you take a closer look at this, you can see that some of the more of these showers and storms are developing sort of right on the heels of that, and those are working their way on in here, and we will continue to see some of these showers developing throughout the rest of the morning, and then even a few more up in portions of the hill country, although just north of the hill country, as you can see, that's where some of the stronger storms are. There is a severe thunderstorm watch, but that does not include any of our area as of right now. Some of the wind gusts right now, still it is breezy out there, but we aren't seeing as strong a wind gusts as what we saw earlier, and there is the flash flood watch that was issued yesterday. It is in effect up until Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Additional 2 to 6 inches of rain, even in parts of the hill country where the flash flood watch is not in effect. And then some of the areas, especially off to the east and northeast, some of our eastern counties may see an additional 6 inches of rain. Today, we have a very good threat for severe weather, high winds, hail, even an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. And this, just think of yesterday at this time, the yellow area, the slight risk was only in portions of the hill country, and now that has worked its way, or the Storm Prediction Center has moved that all across the area. So that's the slight, about a 2 on a scale of 5 as far as the threat for severe weather. So again, storms, maybe heavy rain, some severe storms later on today. Showers and storms, heavy rain. There is a small severe threat tomorrow, not as great as today as of right now, but I think the rain is going to be heavier tomorrow and more widespread. We'll still have some scattered storms the rest of the week and even into the weekend. We're still going to have some scattered storms around here. We'll get all the details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Stephen Cavazos. I know there's some problems out there. What's the latest?
Yeah, that's right, Mike. That problem that we're spotting right now is along 35 south going out from FM 1103. This is a look at TransGuide right now. If you could take a look here, although that traffic is moving, it appears that's in the frontage lanes of I-35 southbound. You can see that first responders have have actually closed off that expressway right now, working to clear a crash scene. It's been going on all night, so if this is your route to work or to get the kids to school this morning, you may want to start planning an alternative route because it looks like this may be closed for a little while longer. But we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that throughout the morning. Taking a look here on the map, you can see exactly what we're looking at right now. Traffic has already slowed down back there at about 9 miles per hour, so definitely creating some headaches for those drivers this morning. Looking at the commute times right now, about 31 minutes from 35 South New Braunfels to 410. So again, give those first responders plenty of room to clear that scene and find an alternative route if this is your way to work or to drop those kiddos off at school this morning. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Stephen.
Well, our top stories this morning from the West Coast to the Gulf Coast. While millions are experiencing a drought, others are experiencing flooding.
Louisiana has declared a state of emergency after severe storms spawned a reported tornado late yesterday. But the most dramatic images are coming from the city of Lake Charles. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
An outbreak of severe storms causing this flooding emergency overnight in Louisiana. In Lake Charles, rescuers in boats and trucks pulling people from nearly 80 homes. Some parents giving piggyback rides to their kids, wading through waist-deep water, picking them up from school.
Obviously, I'll do anything to get to her, make sure that I can get her home. I have 2 other kids that are stuck in Queen of Heaven.
Yeah, that's a lot of water.
The school bus making waves, driving through water up to its hood. More than a foot of rain falling Monday at Lake Charles Airport, its 3rd wettest day on record. In neighboring Texas, people bracing for more severe weather after 2 tornadoes and flash flooding in the Dallas area over the weekend. One woman says a twister damaged this home for the 2nd time in 2 years. She and her husband recently sold that house to another couple.
I don't know how to tell these people who've bought the house. I'm really upset about it for them because I've already lived through it and they were really excited about buying this house.
Meanwhile, on the West Coast, it's drought conditions causing concern. A fire in Pacific Palisades, California, was burning out of control into Monday. The flames spreading quickly, underscoring what experts say is becoming the new norm. They say climate change is fueling an earlier start to the fire season.
We normally don't have this type of fire, this size of fire, in May.
I think we really have to think about brush fires as a year-round challenge.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And a lot of wind damage here at home, especially in the area of I-37 and Donnup. That's where we find our Katrina Weber. Katrina, what does it look like out there?
Well, I can show you in just a minute, but let me just tell you, we're hearing about a couple of injuries out here as a result of this wind. An RV that blew over. Now, we're not allowed into that Bronig Lake RV resort. The guard is not letting us in, but he did tell us that 2 people were sent to a hospital. Also, lots and lots of wind damage. This is just a piece of roofing material that came from this Days Inn motel. And then all across their parking lot, you can see exactly what happened. Pieces of the roof came down in the middle of the parking lot. We have big sheets of metal. There's even a piece of the decorative rooftop there right down in the middle of the parking lot. Now, according to that security guard over at the lake resort, he was telling us he actually saw this happen. He saw the winds come through, saw pieces come down. On some of those cars, we can see damage on at least one of the pickups there parked here in the parking lot. And then on the other side of this, you can see where all of this material came down. Some of it landed, as I said, on the vehicles. Some landed on power lines and on some of the palm trees here. Now, we have not talked to anyone at this motel just yet to find out what the status is of the guest or if any injuries were reported here. But again, we're hearing about a couple of people at the RV resort who did go to the hospital. We don't know the status of their conditions, but we're trying to get that information for you. And again, not allowed onto the resort itself to see how that RV blew over, but that is definitely what we're told happened overnight. Reporting live in Southeast Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Again, to kind of tie it all together, we had some very gusty winds overnight. We've had multiple reports of damage around town. This is our first look at that. That was down on the far southeast side, 37 Donnup Road area.
And now we are expecting lots of rain. For now, it is 5:09 and about 76 degrees right now.
Still ahead of the morning show, how Apple Music is introducing a feature that provides even better sound quality.
And when it comes to mental health and children, there are 5 myths that parents should be aware of. We're going to tell you what they are and the best ways to address them.
Well, our meteorologists have been talking about some really rough weather around here. When is all that going to be here? Oh, it's coming. It is definitely coming. Mike has more on that
And speaking of that weather coming, take a look at the radar right there. Looks like the storms are moving in. We'll be right back.
512, welcome back. The pandemic has been tough on everyone, especially kids. And when it comes to their mental health, it may be hard for parents to understand how to help.
CNN's Mandy Gaither takes a look at 5 mental health myths.
From virtual learning to being separated from friends and family, the pandemic has been rough on many children.
We all have mental health, and it affects how we think, how we feel, and how we behave.
Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life program says the first myth about mental health is that it's a mental illness.
Just like with our physical health, our mental health changes all the time, and we all have it, and we need to do things proactively and regularly to take care of our mental health.
Baumstein says it's also not true that kids can't have mental health challenges. She says teach children about feelings, that it's normal to have them, and help them to label those feelings so they know how to express themselves. Finally, help them learn to manage or cope with those feelings. Another myth, bad parenting is the cause of those challenges.
We really want to shift the conversation away from placing blame on the child or the parent and instead redirect to getting proper assessment and treatment.
Baumstein says it's another myth that doctors are quick to diagnose a problem and medicate. It's always a parent's choice to accept a medication recommendation or not. And finally, she says it's a myth that talking about mental health puts ideas into a child's mind.
There's no research to support this. And in fact, having open and honest conversations about this stuff is much more likely to help a child feel safe.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Right now it's 5:14.
And still ahead, we are checking out Samsung's next batch of futuristic foldable displays.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide my skin? Not me.
By hitting eczema where it counts, Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of eczema. And that means long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief for adults.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can show more with less eczema. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can change how your skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice. Talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
In today's Tech Bites, higher quality audio Apple Music. The streaming service is bringing better quality sound to its subscribers at no extra charge. The company says listeners will have access to 75 million songs, hearing them the way the artist created them in the studio. Next, some new product teases from Samsung. First, a double folded panel concept that could be used as a smartphone. Unfolded, it measures just over 7 inches. The company also unveiling a 17-inch foldable panel, which experts say may indicate a folding Galaxy tablet could be on the way. And your Android phone can now tell you who is calling. The Google Phone app is able to announce the name appearing on your caller ID, which saves you glancing at the screen. You can download it from the Google Play Store, but it's okay to let those calls still go to voicemail. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
It's now 5:18.
Go ahead and check back with Stephen about the accident on I-35.
Yeah, no major progress here, Mark. Seth, you can see that it's pretty much still the same that we saw earlier. Other than that, traffic has been building up in those frontage roads, lanes of 35 South. Taking a look here at the wall, you can see it's quite the mess out there on the frontage roads with all those cars that have been building up, trying to get to whether school or work safely. It's going to take you a little bit of extra time, and you can see that 35 is closed right now as first responders work to clear that crash scene. But taking a closer look right here on the map, you can see that traffic further back has slowed down to now about 13 miles per hour. So try to find an alternative route if this is your way to work or to drop off those kids at school this morning. Other than that, things are looking pretty clean right now here on the maps. No major issues right now, but we are checking those inbound times. Nothing major here. 26 minutes on 281 from Bulverde, 24 minutes on I-10 coming down from Bernie, that is. So we're going to be keeping a close eye here in the traffic lab. And, one of the things that we had talked about is also debris out on the roadways, whether traffic lights may be out. So treat those four-way stops, or those intersections, as four-way stops, that is. And Mike, I know that we had talked about debris earlier this morning, so something drivers are going to want to keep an eye on.
Yes, and do you have some damage behind you as well? Yeah,
more damage. We've had some reports, of course, tree limbs down. I'm sure, like Steve was talking about, garbage cans strewn around, carports, and looks like a play set, and can't tell what that is off in the distance there, but it's kind of turned into a mess. And yeah, winds, again, were gusting. Some reports down on the south side of town about anywhere from, say, 55 to 65 miles per hour. It's fairly tranquil right now in this picture. Road is not bad as far as being kind of dry. The only wind gust really being reported right now is up in New Braunfels at 29 miles per hour. And notice the wind lines I have kind of shifted around out of the north a little bit. This right here is on the heels of the big area of the rain that moved through down to the south in the overnight hours, and it was just this little kind of an anomaly that developed in behind it, and that's why the winds have been gusting so strong. There's all the very heavy rain in our south and eastern counties, Beeville over toward Victoria, and then in behind, and as we were talking about, these two little spots that had been developing, and now you can see a couple of lightning strikes are being detected there just to the north of Pearsall, going right across 35 south of Devine, where there was also some reports of some damage, and this is just what I was getting from reports that were called into the Weather Service, National Weather Service office. We have a chat website, and that's where some of these damage reports have come in. And obviously, there's been more out there as well. Everything is working its way to the east. Folks in Pleasanton, be on the lookout for those storms. And then there are more in parts of the hill country. And then further up to the northwest is where some of the severe weather potential is as of right now. Here's what this is more of a long-range computer model, but it does have more showers, thunderstorms kind of moving across the area, developing late morning and by noon, and a few of those throughout the rest of the afternoon. Sort of perhaps even a break in the action tonight. But overnight hours, there's a bit of a front that's going to be working its way on through here, and a couple of different computer models are in agreement with this, and it's not necessarily a pretty picture as that line drops down through the area tomorrow morning and then almost kind of hangs out throughout the day. And this is really going to be dumping a lot of rain. That's why I think tomorrow is going to be the wettest of the days. Today has the slightly better chance for anything severe to pop up, high winds and hail, but tomorrow being the wettest. Now, as we go into the latter part of the week, watch how everything is starting to come in here out of the southeast. The low, which is sort of the culprit for all this, is going to set up camp down to the south of us, and that counterclockwise rotation is going to take all this energy and continue to throw it in here from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's why we're going to continue to see more showers and storms over the next couple of days. Flash flood watch, again, in effect up until 1 o'clock Thursday, and some very heavy rain, upwards of 6 inches in some of our north and eastern counties. And there is the severe threat for today, which the slight risk covers a good chunk of the area. High winds, hail, isolated tornadoes, very low chance, but you can't completely rule it out. 79 degrees today at noon. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms will continue to develop. Maybe one or two of those strong and even some heavy downpours around the area. 82 degrees for a high temperature. But again, I think the heaviest rain, most widespread heavy rain, is going to be tomorrow, starting early on in the day and throughout much of the day. And we'll have a bit of a drop in temperatures, maybe Thursday, Friday. More rain even through the weekend and maybe even into next week.
Wow, next week as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just have to deal with the rain then.
It's going to be heavy.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Right now, we're 5:23 on your Tuesday.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, a sneak peek at the next two major events from Marvel, plus Coldplay gets set to play on TikTok.
5:26, movies, music, streaming news, plus a celebrity wedding.
CNN's David Daniel has it all in the Hollywood Minute.
Are you taking me somewhere to kill me? No, that's where you just were. I'm taking you someplace to talk. Well, I don't like to talk, but you do like to lie, which you just did.
Marvel has unveiled clips from two upcoming projects. Loki, debuting on Disney Plus June 9th.
The idea that your little club decides the fate of trillions of people across all of existence at the behest of 3 space lizards. Yes, it's funny. It's absurd.
I thought you didn't like to talk.
Okay, you got a plan, or shall I just stay duck and cover?
My plan was to drive us away.
Well, your plan sucks.
And Black Widow hitting theaters and Disney Plus Premier Access July 9th. Ariana Grande is a married woman. A rep for the singer confirms Grande and real estate agent Dalton Gomez have tied the knot. Grande announced they were engaged in December. Coldplay is set to perform its first ever live mini concert on its TikTok channel. It's a benefit for Red Nose Day, the annual campaign to end child poverty. The live stream show will be Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Now 5:27.
And still ahead on GMSA, we're taking a closer look at what police unions are doing about bad cops as lawmakers continue to grapple over a reform bill.
Burger King trying to bring back a highly requested menu item.
And just ahead on GMSA at 6, we're staying on top of power outages throughout San Antonio.
Nature stirred up quite a mess here in southeast Bexar County. This is part of a roof that came crashing down. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have that story.
The White House releasing tax returns for President Biden and Vice President Harris. We'll tell you how much they make.
Good morning. It is May 18th. Thanks for joining us. We'll go straight to weather.
And it was very windy overnight, as you just saw in some of that video from Katrina. And winds have settled down somewhat, but we did see down there on the southeast side gusts of 55 to 65 miles per hour. Right now at the airport, we do have somewhat of a northerly wind. That has dropped the humidity off just a little bit, so slightly more comfortable when you step outside this morning as compared to yesterday. We're still at 75 degrees right now, almost 10 degrees above normal. And it was this big storm system down to the south that worked its way across our southern counties, and kind of in behind it, that's what helped to really stir up some of these winds. We've got a couple of cells right here, one just crossing 35, sliding off to the east, another one just ahead of that, heading right in toward Pleasanton, and then out to the the west, right around Uvalde, another little cluster of rains trying to develop. We had a few of these showers in the hill country. Those have sort of fizzled out for the time being, but definitely there is more rain in the forecast. 79 degrees today at noon, and then 82 for high temperature. Some of those storms are going to be potentially severe and with some heavy downpours. Wind is going to be out of the southeast, 10 to 20 miles per hour. It is going to be on the gusty side. Of course, the flash flood watch, which was issued yesterday, is in effect up until Thursday at 1 o'clock. So we're going to see a lot more rain, and I think it's going to be peaking, even though we'll have some heavy downpours today, it's going to be peaking tomorrow. And then, of course, we do have the severe threat today, the slight risk, which is a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5, and that's for most all of the area. High winds, hail, and maybe a just a very small chance for an isolated tornado, but it's going to be high winds and hail that are the biggest threats. I think the heaviest rain is yet to come. Big question, how long is it going to stick around? Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos, got some problems. What's the latest?
Yeah, the big issue right now, Mike, is still here on 35 South at FM 1103. You can see this is a view from TransGuide right now. We have the highway there that has been closed off due to a crash that's been happening since a little before midnight, according to TxDOT. You can see this is along the frontage road lane here, and that's where traffic just continues to build. We've been watching that build throughout the morning. Right now, it does look like it's pretty much at a standstill, so definitely creating some headaches for drivers, but you're going to want to give yourself that extra room or find an alternative route if this is your route to work or to drop off the kids at school this morning. Taking a closer look here on the map, you can see that traffic has slowed down further back at 7 miles per hour, and this little icon here shows that that road has been blocked off due to the crash. So again, look for those alternative routes this morning as you head out the door. But take a look here. This is actually showing our road conditions right now due to the weather that we've actually been keeping a very close eye on. That green does show that this means what conditions are in the area. And right over here, it's right where that crash happened along 35 South. So again, if you are heading in that direction, be sure to take it extra slow out on the roads. We're going to be keeping a very close eye here in the traffic lab throughout the morning. Mark, Stephanie, back to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Strong winds have cut a path of destruction through parts of southeast Bexar County. They tore a roof off a motel and toppled an RV on Donop Road near Interstate 37. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Now, Katrina, you mentioned earlier that there were also some injuries. What do you know about these people?
Yeah, that was according to a security guard over at the Brunnig Lake RV Resort. He says that a couple of people were inside that RV when it toppled over. He says they were taken to a hospital. Now, we're trying to get in touch with authorities to learn more about that, but I can tell you what we do see. A lot of damage like this. This was a metal roof that was part of the Days Inn here, came crashing down overnight. Those winds had to be really strong because that is very heavy, as is this decorative piece here. It's tall, almost as tall as me, and very heavy. Came crashing down right off the roof, landed in palm trees, landed on power lines, and landed on vehicles as well. We can see the damage to this truck. It looks like it got hit with a piece of this metal roof. You can see the red paint there. Now, we don't know what the status is on the motel guests. We have seen a couple of people walking around, so I would assume that some of them are in the rooms. We don't know if anyone was injured here, but we did take a look at the other side of this building, and there are just chunks of the roof missing. So that wind was very strong, just opened up this thing like a tuna can. And of course, the damage that you see here, pieces of the roof scattered all over this parking lot. Reporting live in Southeast Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Well, those strong wind gusts overnight also caused some fallen branches and tree problems on the south side of town.
And another problem many people may be dealing with this morning, power outages. Sarah Costa is live now near San Jose Burial Park with some of that damage, though. Good morning.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yeah, you can see this fallen tree right behind me, and there are some other smaller fallen trees in the area. We are near San Jose Burial Park, and this is the fence line right here on the cemetery. Also, the sign to the cemetery might also be damaged. You know, it's still dark, so there might be some more extensive wind damage in the area, but we're just gonna have to wait until the sun comes up. Again, we're on Mission Road. This is right before Stinson Airport, but let's take a look at that CPS Energy power outage map. Now, currently, 155 active outages affecting 18,469 customers. And if you're looking at that power outage map by the zip codes, a lot of the areas that have the most outages are on the south side of the city. Now, it's affecting all parts of San Antonio, but the majority of those outages are on the south side of the city. Now, a reminder, if you see a downed power line, stay away from it and don't drive over it, and call the CPS Energy outage line at 210-353-HELP. CPS Energy crews are working around the clock to resolve some of these outages. Just stay with us here on air or online for these updates. Live from the south side, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Katrina, Sarah, thank you. Cities and states around the country taking action on police reform.
But what about on the national scale? As CNN's Brett Conway reports, lawmakers continue to grapple with a police reform bill as their self-imposed deadline approaches.
May 25th, 2020, the day George Floyd was killed by former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. 1 week from today marks 1 year. His death sparked protests all over the country. No peace! But deaths of black men and women at the hands of police continued. And by President Joe Biden's first address to a joint session of Congress, he pressed lawmakers to come up with a police reform bill.
But let's get it done next month, by the first anniversary of George Floyd's death.
But making deadline could prove difficult. There are two big sticking points right now: determining the standard for charging police officers with crimes and changing qualified immunity so police officers can be sued in civil court. But 15 police unions are making moves of their own, with plans to release a blueprint for policing this week. CNN got a copy of that plan, which asks officers to be trained as active bystanders, meaning they'll intervene when they see something wrong, calling on 250,000 law enforcement members and more than 100,000 members in police-adjacent professions to take action. It also pushes each union to consider an officer's actions before defending them. They say it's a huge step for law enforcement, knowing how many people around the country have lost confidence in the police. Britt Conway, KSAT 12 News.
We now know how much the president and vice president paid in taxes last year. The White House just released 2020 returns for both. President Biden and the First Lady filed joint tax returns, reporting an adjusted gross income of more than $607,000. They paid a little more than $157,000 in federal income taxes. Vice President and Second Gentleman earned and paid more than the Bidens. They had an adjusted gross income of more than $1.6 million, paying just under $622,000 in federal taxes.
And time now is about 5:39, and we're in the mid-70s this morning.
A new program aimed at stopping young people from vaping seems to be having success. We'll tell you how the program works.
And many have their brand new COVID-19 vaccination cards, but what happens if you lose it? Up next, what you can do to protect that information.
And outside with live Mike is sounding the alert for more showers and storms. Heavy rainfall is in the forecast. We're talking about days and days of rain. Mike will have details, the very latest, coming up right here on GMSA. 542, nearly 50% of eligible adults are vaccinated in the U.S. as of this week, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
And of course, once you get vaccinated, you receive your vaccination card. But what happens if you lose it? Sarah Costa explains what you can do and how to prevent damaging or losing your card.
You know the card we're referring to. It looks like an index card and lists the day and location, when and where you received your first dose, your second dose, and it says what type of vaccine you got. But what happens if you lose it? The answer to that depends on what state you live in. A good place to start is usually the place or organization that administered your vaccine. If you can't track down a record there, contact your state health department. Each state has an immunization information system, also called IIS, that keeps records if you need to access your child's vaccine records. But as an adult, there is no national organization that maintains vaccination records according to the CDC. So if you lose your card in between your second shot, it shouldn't impact getting your second shot because you should already be in the system for where you were scheduled for your first shot. Take a photo of your vaccine card, but not for social media. Remember, your name and birthday are listed, so you'll want to keep those details private. Instead, keep the photo of your card somewhere safe. Maybe you have an iPhone photos folder where you store important pics, screenshots, or other information. The cards were started as a helpful reminder to tell people when they needed to get their second doses of either Moderna or Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson is a one and done shot, but it's possible you might need your card in the future, perhaps for certain sporting events or even travel. Officials have said that you shouldn't have to carry it at all times, but storing it in a safe filing cabinet or desk drawer would be wise. Experts also recommend not laminating your card because it could smudge the ink and make it difficult to read. If you're worried about damaging it, you should put it in a plastic sleeve. Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Time now is 5:44, and we're in the mid-70s this morning.
Up next, Burger King putting a fan favorite item back on the menu. We'll tell you when you might be able to get it.
And welcome back. It's about 5:47. In your morning consumer headlines, a program that uses text messages to help people quit vaping appears to have some success. The nonprofit Truth Initiative studied almost 2,600 people who signed up for the service. It works by sending text messages containing tailored advice, social support, and coping skills. At the beginning of the year-long trial, all participants reported vaping within the last 30 days, with more than 82% saying they did so within 30 minutes of waking up. At the 7-month follow-up point, just 24% reported vaping during the previous month. The study did not include teens, which have the highest rate of e-cigarette use.
After being off the menu for more than a decade, Burger King is bringing back its crown-shaped chicken nuggets. Right now, they're only being sold at locations around Miami at $1.49 for 10 nuggets. However, Burger King says there could be a potential nationwide launch soon. The uniquely shaped nuggets were removed from the menu in 2011, but fans pleaded for their return, even starting an online petition that got more than 2,000 signatures.
Interesting. I don't remember the crowns.
I don't remember either. I thought nuggets were just kind of nuggets.
Nuggets. Okay. Interesting.
5:48. Let's get the latest on 35 South, far northeast of San Antonio, up in Comal County, right?
That's right, Mark. You know, this is what we've been keeping a very close eye on here in the traffic lab. This is a view from TransGuide here at 35 at FM 1103. Taking a closer look here at the wall, you can see that traffic there in the frontage road does appear that it is at a standstill. And over here, we do have first responders that have been working to clear that scene throughout the night. So if this is your route to work or to drop the kids off at school, again, may not be the best way to go this morning. But we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that. To give you a little bit more context here on the map, it shows that traffic has slowed down further back, and we do have that road that is closed right now, but this is something we're going to be seeing seems like a large impact of throughout the morning. Now, we did spot a stall over here as well in the eastbound lanes, eastbound on I-10. This is near West Avenue. It doesn't seem that it's impacting traffic right now, but again, something that we want to keep a close eye on and give that driver plenty of room to make sure that they can get to their destination safely. Taking a look at those inbound times, again, 28 minutes that is on 281 from Bulverde to downtown. But again, what we're keeping a very close eye on is going to be 35 south, a 34-minute commute right now. But we do have those first responders still out there working to clear the scene, but it looks like they may be out there just a little while longer. So something we're going to keep an eye on.
Thank you very much, Stephen. We have storms on the radar right now, but we had some blow through overnight, literally blow through. Mike Ostrace said the wind gusts woke you up this overnight, right?
Yeah, I mean, the windows were just rattling and hearing that wind, and it did cause some damage. We've been seeing some reports pretty much on the south and then the downtown west side, and pretty good branches. Some of the reports in the Weather Service, just 1-inch diameter branches were snapped, and obviously it was a lot bigger than that, and not a good situation there. Winds have settled down, but it is going to be breezy throughout the day, and it's fairly calm picture there over by the airport. And yeah, the big area of thunderstorms that moved through just to the south of us, and it was kind of on the back side of it, the heels of it, where we got some of those very strong winds. And down to the south, though, this area has really started to grow around Atascosa County down toward Tilden, Three Rivers. A couple of lightning strikes have been showing up in there, not a whole heck of a lot of lightning as of right now. And then there is there's some more rain out in portions of the hill country, not a lot. And most of the stronger storms, anything severe, is northwest of our area as of right now. Here's the computer model. And it's got some more of these cells that are going to be developing here. And these are the ones that may produce not only some heavy downpours, localized heavy downpours, but also some severe weather. There is that threat today, and that's going to work its way across the area today. Now, tonight and then tomorrow is when I think we have the heaviest, most widespread rain around here. And models are kind of showing a bit of a front moving down through here, and that's going to be the focal point for all the showers and storms. And this is going to be kind of slow moving. It's just going to be a triggering mechanism sort of lying across the area, and so that's why we'll continue to have more rain throughout most of the day tomorrow. I mean, look at how this doesn't go anywhere throughout the day tomorrow, and then it'll sort of settle down a little bit going into the evening hours. And watch how this model tracks the rainfall amounts pretty good as that line of rain moves down through here. And this is just through the day tomorrow, and you know, some of the estimates are computer model projections 1 to 2 inches of rain throughout the day tomorrow. Then we have more on top of that. I mean, there could be upwards of 6 inches of rain to the east and to the northeast, and this is through this weekend. So we'll get the couple of heavy pockets of rain today, but I think most of it tomorrow. Ground's going to be very, very saturated, and we continue to see more rain on top of that. So that is what is prompting the flash flood watch. It was issued yesterday. It is in effect up until 1 o'clock Thursday. There may be some localized flash flood warnings, especially tomorrow. So you're going to have to watch out for that. And then depending on what happens after that, I wouldn't be surprised even if that was extended past Thursday. But that's kind of a wait and see situation. 79 degrees today at noon, showers, a couple of thunderstorms, and then a few of those thunderstorms may produce some heavy downpours as well as some severe weather. High winds, hail are going to be the biggest threats. An isolated tornado is possible, but not very likely. Tomorrow, I think we see the most heavy widespread rain around the area and slightly lower temperatures. That front is going to kind of knock temperatures off just a little bit in behind it, but then we'll still have more rain in through the weekend. Very consistent, right around 80 both Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, it's going to be wet for a while.
There's so much going on in that forecast. I know, Mike, it's hard to pinpoint the winds and wheres. I guess we just want people to be super alert, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Today, I think is the best chance for anything severe.
Okay.
And then tomorrow, I think is going to be, we'll have some heavy downpours today, but as far as the widespread heavy rain, I think that's going to be tomorrow.
Be thinking ahead about those low spots that typically flood around here.
Yes, definitely avoid those. We'll be watching out.
Slow commute tomorrow morning, it looks like.
All right, thanks for the heads up. 5:54 on your Tuesday morning. Glad you're with us.
Let's take a look at your winning Lotto numbers this morning. We have pick 3, 368, Fireball 4, Daily 4, 5505, Fireball 3.
Cash 5 numbers 8, 15, 18, 23, 35. Texas two-step numbers 7, 13, 20, 28 with a bonus ball of 25.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, flash flood emergencies and 20 reported tornadoes ripping up parts of Texas and Louisiana. I'm going to have the latest on the forecast and track those for you right here on GMA.
Ahead at our next hour, GMSA, it's all come down to one game. It's win or go home for our Spurs tomorrow night. We've got a preview. Plus, one man fighting for his life following a shooting on the south side. We'll have the latest on what happened from SAPD. Power outages have been a problem for some of you in the overnight hours thanks to gusty winds and storms. We'll have the latest coming up in our next hour. And as we go to break, let's check TransGuide. Southbound 35 remains closed out near Hubertus Road, far northeast side. We're talking Comal County. We'll have the very latest coming up on that incident that's got traffic backlogged on the southbound frontage road coming towards San Antonio. We'll be right back.
People at this motel in southeast Bexar County are waking up to damage caused by strong winds, but it's actually been a bit of a sleepless night. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about it.
Thousands in San Antonio without power right now following strong wind gusts overnight.
Spurs have a date with Memphis tomorrow night. It is do or die. We've got a preview.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are expecting rain today and a lot of rain just all week long, possibly some severe storms. For now, we're in the mid-70s.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. It's Tuesday. It is May 18th, and we have storms brewing yet again as we speak this morning.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, but get prepared for all that rain that we are having today and tonight.
Oh, flash flood watch in effect for just about everybody for days to come, right, Mike Osterhage?
Through Thursday. It was issued yesterday, and it goes through Thursday at 1 o'clock, and I think the heaviest rain is going to come tomorrow. We'll still have some heavy downpours today, and windy conditions. We had winds that reported gusts 65 miles per hour down in and around Stinson Airport earlier this morning. It's kind of settled down just a little bit, but there's all the heavy rain, that storm system that moved through just to the south, and that kind of dragged in those winds in behind it. And now throughout a good chunk of Atascosa County, we've got some moderate rain. It looks like the lightning has settled down for right now, but you'll still get some decent showers there. And then no lightning strikes with that storm near Sabinal. That's continuing to work its way to the east. So in Hondo, you might want to look out for that. We had a few of those showers in parts of the hill country. Those have settled down for right now, but we will see more developing today. And like we were talking about, the flash flood watch in effect up until 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Could see an additional 2 to 6 inches of rain and maybe even higher amounts than that, especially well off to the east. Now today, that is, as of right now, the best threat for severe weather. We do have the slight risk, the 2 on a scale of 1 to 5, and that covers most all of our area. All of the area has some sort of a risk, but the slightly higher risk covers a good chunk of our viewing area, and that's going to be for high winds and hail, as well as a very small chance. Can't completely rule out an isolated tornado, but it's basically going to be high winds and hail. Temperatures are going to be steady for the next couple of hours. We'll be right around mid-70s, and it is also going to be gusty today. Winds about 10, 20 miles per hour, gusting 30, close to 35 miles per hour, and especially higher in and around some of those storms. We'll be in the upper 70s today at noon, and then a high temperature today into the low 80s with more showers and thunderstorms. Like I said, I think some of the heaviest, most widespread rain is going to be tomorrow, and we'll still have rain rain throughout the rest of the week and even sticking around the weekend. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority Samuel King got some problems out there, right, sir?
Is still watching this situation here, Mike, in Comal County, just north of Schertz, where we had I-35 southbound closed here for a stretch. And this crash is actually reported just before midnight. So that's a long duration sort of situation out here in this area. Pretty severe crash, and try to get you some more information on that later this morning. But the upside for commuters this morning is the southbound lanes at 1103 are closed, so traffic being diverted to the frontage roads, and traffic was lighter this morning, but now we're starting to get into the heart of the commute here a little bit, and you're seeing that back up there in that area. So this is New Braunfels. This is south of New Braunfels, north of San Antonio. Traffic at a standstill. This gap in the data shows you that the road is closed, southbound 35. Looking at our road conditions tool this morning, you can see there's some wet roads still reported in that area. Also to the south, as Mike was mentioning, parts near Pleasanton and Devine. So just watch out for that this morning. Looking at our travel times, 35 minutes coming out of New Braunfels. That would be higher, but as you saw, some of the road traffic is diverted to the frontage road, so that's probably a little bit deceiving. It should actually be higher coming out of New Braunfels this morning, but fairly normal travel times everywhere else. We'll keep an eye on the situation, see if anything else develops, and we'll have another update coming up. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Samuel. There are reports of injuries and plenty of damage as a result of strong winds overnight in southeast Bexar County.
Katrina Weber is live at one area that was hit hard, a motel near Donnup Road and Interstate 37.
Katrina, looks like there's some sort of line dangling there. Are there power outages down there in your area?
Yeah, we're definitely keeping our distance from the lines. We don't see any evidence of power outages. There's power on at this motel, power in the area. And I also checked with CPS Energy. Don't see any power outages as a result, but definitely a line down as a result of part of the roof coming down right on it. You can see the metal roof that came right off this Days Inn and landed here. There are pieces of this roof all over the parking lot, farther down, landed on a palm tree. We have a big piece that landed in the middle of the parking lot, as well as decorations that came down. We noticed that there is also damage to the vehicles. Now, I had a chance to talk to a security guard at the RV resort next door. He says that he saw this happen. He saw the winds whip up and saw the roof come crashing down. He also told us that there were two people in the RV park who were inside their RV when the winds toppled that over. He told us that they were injured. He says they went to the hospital, but we were not able to get any update on their condition. I have reached out to the sheriff's office to see if they might provide some information, and I'm still waiting to hear back. Reporting live in southeast Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. New this morning on our website, Texas Public University leaders are hoping for a $1 billion boost that will fund new and existing campus buildings. But it all depends if the Texas legislature passes a new bill. That bill would also add health care, education, and research infrastructure. This comes as the state continues to face a shortage of physicians and nurses because of the pandemic. It would also fund the construction of new public health education buildings at Texas A&M University in San Antonio and 3 other universities in Texas. You can read more about this story on our website at ksat.com.
Tensions continue to rise in the Middle East as the Israeli military unleashed another wave of airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, saying it destroyed militant tunnels and the homes of 9 Hamas commanders. President Biden has expressed his support for a ceasefire between Israel and Gaza's militant Hamas rulers in a call to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. However, Biden stopped short of demanding an immediate stop to 8 days of airstrikes and rocket barrages. So far, more than 200 people have been killed.
President Biden is developing a presidential pardon process with a focus on racial justice and equity. Instead of waiting to the end of his time in office, the White House is signaling to activists that Biden could start issuing pardons before the middle of his term. According to a source, the White House is already in the process of reviewing clemency applications. The White House is working with the Justice Department's Office of the Pardon Attorney to vet the applicants.
And the Supreme Court has ruled against police who entered a man's home and seized his guns without a warrant. The case goes back to 2015. That's when Edward Caniglia, Rhode Island, placed a gun on his dining room table and asked his wife to shoot him following an argument. She left and went to a hotel, called police the next morning. They determined he was a risk to himself and called an ambulance to take him to a hospital. They then seized his weapons. The justices unanimously agreed that doing so was not covered under the Fourth Amendment's community caretaking exception. President Biden says by today, 60% of adults will have received at least one COVID-19 dose.
And with coronavirus cases falling nationwide, several states are beginning to drop their mask mandates. ABC's Ike Ajachi has the latest from Washington.
It's the question on many minds this morning.
Should I take my mask off? Should I leave it on? It's super confusing. I think it's a little too soon.
Mask mandates. Right now, the country is inching towards recovery. Nearly 60% of people ages 12 and up have received at least one vaccine dose.
Every day, the light at the end of that tunnel is growing brighter.
One by one, states are choosing to adopt the CDC's new relaxed mask guidelines for vaccinated Americans. The varying requirements compounded by businesses. Chains like Starbucks, Walmart, Trader Joe's, and Costco, and now Home Depot and Target, dropping their mask rules, but only in states without mask mandates. Nearly 2/3 of Americans are not yet fully vaccinated, making some people hesitant.
I'm going to wear mine for a long time until I feel comfortable not wearing it.
But many experts stress the risk of contracting COVID-19 if you're fully vaccinated, it's low.
These vaccines are extraordinary, and they will protect you even if you're spending time with unvaccinated people.
The White House supports the CDC's new guidelines, saying you don't have to trust your fellow American, you only have to trust the science. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
And we also want to tell you about a Fiesta-themed vaccine clinic happening this weekend. 900 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be made available and no appointment is needed. It will be happening in the 2600 block of Southwest Military Drive from 9 in the morning to noon this Saturday. The event is being presented by the councilwomen of Districts 3, 4, and 5. There will be free medals while supplies last.
And the Fiesta 2021 kicks off in a month. It's something a lot of people are looking forward to since it didn't happen last year. This week's episode of KSAT Explains is all about the why behind San Antonio's favorite Fiesta traditions. The show is out tonight. We'll stream the episode live on KSAT.com, the KSAT TV app, on streaming devices, and KSAT's Facebook page at 7 p.m. If you can't watch it live, we'll post the full episode so you can watch it on demand later this evening.
And time now is 6:10 and it's in the mid-70s right now.
Do you need an umbrella? Well, if you live in these areas, that's a yes right now. We have more scattered showers and storms trying to pop up and move towards San Antonio. We'll check back in with Mike.
And it's win or go home for the Silver and Black after they made the NBA's new play-in tournament. We have a preview of the Spurs versus Grizzlies.
And outside with live cam, we're also going to get back with Samuel King, get updated on 35 South out there in the Schertz-Cibolo area. See what the latest is. It's been shut down all morning long, and the frontage road is packed. We'll be back. 6:14, the Spurs looking to avoid their second straight season of missing the postseason. Now they have to win 2 on the road in the NBA play-in tournament. It's after they lost to the Suns in back-to-back games at home to finish the regular season at 33-39, 10th place in the Western Conference. So here's a look at the play-in tournament bracket in the West. Memphis will host San Antonio tomorrow night at 6:30. Winner of that game will go on to play the loser of the Warriors-Lakers matchup. Loser of Spurs-Grizz will be eliminated from playoff contention. Spurs do have something in their favor going into the game with Memphis. Spurs actually have the better record on the road this season, which is a first in franchise history. And tonight, Missions Baseball will finally be back at home. Fans will get to see the team in person. The Missions are set to begin their series with the Frisco Rough Riders tonight through Sunday at Wolf Stadium, starting each night at 7:05. Welcome home, gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome home. And for now, let's go ahead and check back with Samuel about the accident there at I-35 in Comal County.
Yeah, still a closure there. We've seen some of the emergency vehicles sort of move back and forth there, but for the past couple of hours or so, at least, 35 southbound has been closed. Earlier this morning, they seemed like they were letting some vehicles through, but right now that is not the case. And so you see there's a big backup there on the frontage roads there on 35 at 11:03. This is southbound, so inbound to San Antonio in the Schertz and Cibolo areas. So let's take a closer look at that now. Traffic at a standstill here. This sort of blank space means there's no data. That means the lanes are closed all the way down to FM 2252 there at the county line with Guadalupe County. So that's just something to keep in mind this morning. What's that doing to your travel time on 35 itself? This might be a little off just because of that closure. It says 29 minutes, which is well above normal because you can see the other side, 19 minutes heading northbound. So definitely going to slow you down this morning if you're coming out of New Braunfels. So plan ahead if you're someone whose commute starts, let's say in the next hour or so. You might want to start wrapping that up and getting going here if you need to head down to 1604 or 410 in San Antonio. Taking a look at some travel times to the south, 28 minutes coming in from Pleasanton, 19 minutes from Castroville, 16 minutes from Lotto. We mentioned that because, and Mike's going to talk more about this, have some wet roads down in this area, Floresville, Pleasanton over to Divine. So that's something to keep in mind both today and over the next few days. And one more reminder, guys, if you have some power outages, we know there's still some in the area. Treat those intersections as a four-way stop. It's very important.
Yes, good reminder. Thank you, Samuel.
All right, break it down for us, Mike. I know you have lots to talk about. We're talking a multi-day weather event.
Yeah, especially today and tomorrow. I mean, we'll still have rain around through the weekend, but today and especially tomorrow's going to be the wettest day. This morning, a couple of showers scattered about the area, maybe a thunderstorm. Temperatures are going to be fairly steady where they are right now. We're in the mid-70s here in town, then 82 for a high temperature, and potentially some heavy rain, maybe a stronger storm or two, even a severe storm is possible today. And again, those gusty winds. All right, we showed you the video of this carport, or excuse me, the picture of this carport. Now, I'm going to try and play this video that was sent in. It's looks like maybe a doorbell camera or something like that. Here it goes, and this was about 12:30 this morning. And watch as the carport and the winds were really blowing, and that thing just blows right across right there. Oh, yeah. Obviously, it doesn't weigh a whole lot, but there were a lot of trash cans. Even some tree limbs about 1 inch diameter were reported that were snapped by some of those stronger winds, and they were gusting, again, about 55 to 65 miles per hour reported down around Stinson Airport. It's fairly calm out there right now. We do have, well, first of all, this big area of storms. That's the one that moved through just to the south, and then we have the strong winds in behind it. This is going back 12 hours, and then you can see just some scattered rain kind of on the heels of that. Nothing as far as anything too heavy here in Atascosa County, right along 37 and moving in toward Floresville, Karnes City, and then a little further back off to the west. A couple of cells are trying to pop up here in Medina County, just to the north of Honda. We'll have to keep an eye on that. A heavier downpour that may try and produce a little bit of lightning here coming up in the next couple of minutes. Going through the weekend, and we're still going to have rain around through the weekend. There's the potential for up to 6 inches of rain or even more than that, well off to the east and to the northeast. And then even back out here with lesser rain amounts, I mean, we're still looking at 1 inch to 2 inches in a good portion of the hill country. So on the positive side, a lot of that is in the recharge zone, but then again, we're going to have just saturated ground. There's going to be a lot of runoff. Flooding is definitely going to be a potential, especially tomorrow. All right, here's the outlook for the next couple of days. We'll have showers and thunderstorms today. Tomorrow, with some of the heaviest rain as a bit of a front lies on through the area and comes down in here. And this is going to be in the morning hours and then throughout the day. And this is just going to sort of hang around throughout the day. And again, this is why I think we have some of the heaviest rain tomorrow. And then notice how a lot of this rain comes in here from the southeast. There's a low which is going to park down to the south of us, and that's going to continue to sweep some of these showers on in here. Even going in through most all of the weekend, we'll still have showers, even a couple of thunderstorms, and it's not going to take a lot to produce maybe some flooding going into the weekend with the saturated ground. Flash flood watch right now up until 1 o'clock Thursday, and the severe threat today, high winds and hail, are going to be the biggest threats with that, and that's later on today. 79 degrees at noon, showers, a couple of thunderstorms, high temperature today up to 82. Again, windy conditions today and heavy downpours, some severe storms, hail, high winds, an isolated tornado can't be completely ruled out. Heaviest rain tomorrow. We'll still keep rain around in through the weekend.
Wow.
Yep.
And
the
next
periods
week.
I remember in a long time.
with continuous rain.
Yeah, this long a time.
When we have a dry day again, so we're going to reverse this. When you have a fully dry day again, then you let us know that one too, okay?
Not in the long range forecast right now.
Kind of gathered that. Thank you, Mike. About 6:20 on your Tuesday morning.
And still ahead, Apple Music subscribers are in for a treat. Details after the break.
These used cars may look identical, but with Carfax, you'll see how a car's history affects its value.
I always knew you were an accident.
Stop overpaying.
I'm still Mom's favorite.
Shop at the all-new Carfax.com.
Some recipes taste better when they're prepared together. Just enough happiness, a pinch of fun, and finally, a delicious touch. Because Nutella always adds something tasty. Nutella, wake up to wow.
Are you constantly cleaning and sanitizing your bathroom? For an easy solution that lasts, try Microban 24 Bathroom Cleaner. Simply spray and wipe away to easily dissolve soap scum and kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria initially. Then reapply and allow to dry on tile to prevent mold and mildew growth for 7 days, or on countertop surfaces to keep killing bacteria for up to 24 hours. Try Microban 24 Bathroom Cleaner. Brand Power, helping you buy better.
In this morning's GMA First Look, cracking down on unruly passengers. Now this week, the FAA proposing its biggest fine yet this year. More than $52,000 for a passenger who officials say tried to open the cockpit door on a Delta flight from Honolulu to Seattle before allegedly striking a flight attendant in the face.
In my experience as a commercial airline captain for more than 27 years, unruly passenger incidents themselves are nothing new, but as I said, we have seen an alarming increase in the rate over the last few months, and it's something that we need to get under control. So that's why we adopted the zero tolerance policy.
And we'll have much more on proposed new fines coming up at 7 a.m. Plus, with more and more Americans flying, we'll have the expert tips for getting the flight you want without breaking the bank. With your GMA First Look, I'm Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Apple Music bringing better sound quality to subscribers at no extra charge. Apple will support higher quality audio. The company says listeners will have access to 75 million songs, hearing them the way the artists created them in studio.
And some new product teases from Samsung. First, a double folding panel concept that could be used as a smartphone. Unfolded, it measures just over 7 inches. Now, the company also unveiling a 17-inch foldable panel, which experts say may indicate a folding Galaxy tablet could be on the way.
Your Android phone can now tell you who's calling. The Google Phone app is able to announce the name appearing on your caller ID, which saves you glancing at the screen. You can download it from the Google Play Store.
And time now is 6:26 and about 74 degrees right now.
Ahead in our next half hour, many Americans turned to online shopping during lockdowns. Did you buy some things that are just now sitting around collecting dust? We'll tell you how to turn that quarantine clutter into cash.
And thousands in San Antonio without power right now following strong wind gusts overnight. We have the latest just ahead. Right now, just about 13,000 customers affected at this point.
And TransGuide, let's see how things are looking good here in town. Roads are relatively dry, but that big incident is coming into San Antonio on I-35 out in the Schertz-Cibolo area. We'll get the latest on that coming up right here on GMSA.
Do not disturb signs served no purpose at this motel overnight. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. Strong winds came through, woke everyone up, and caused a lot of damage. I'll tell you more about it.
And thousands in San Antonio without power right now following strong wind gusts overnight. Right now, there are about 13,000 people affected. We're going to have the latest.
And outside with live cam, we really can't tell in this shot, but we have more showers in the general area. Big storms down along the coast and way up in the hill country. Mike will get us updated on what's going to still be a very active weather pattern for days to come. Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 18th of May.
Thanks for being with us this morning. And yeah, the storms are coming really big today, especially, and tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have strong storms today potentially. And today, I think the biggest thing to watch out for is the risk for something strong to severe, high winds and hail being the biggest threats. And yeah, some heavy downpours, but then I think the more widespread heavy rain is going to be coming on in here tomorrow. This morning, we were talking about some of the winds. We had gusts reported 55 to 65 miles per hour in and around the Stinson Airport area, and did do some damage, knocked over, carports, some tree limbs. Weather Service reported 1-inch diameter tree limbs were snapped off. So those obviously pretty strong winds. Now, not a lot going on out there by the airport right now. Obviously cloudy skies. We do have 73 degrees. The humidity is down a little bit compared to yesterday. The wind in behind that big cluster of storms down to the southeast did shift around to the northeast. So it pulled in slightly drier air. Don't get used to any big drop in the humidity or anything. So here's what's going on right now. There's the heavy rain down to the southeast, some straggling showers in behind it. A lot of these have almost kind of fizzled out there around Atascosa, Wilson counties, and just a couple of more off to the west, one little cell right there in Honda, but we will see more developing later on today. Mold is on the moderate side, grass is low. Mold's going to be sticking around just given the fact we've got so much rain in the forecast. Flash flood watch is in effect up until 1 o'clock Thursday. This was issued yesterday, so this is definitely going to be an extended rainy period. And as you saw, there's the potential for 2 to 6 inches of rain and maybe more than 6 inches, especially well off to the east and to the northeast. Today, we've got the slight risk, the yellow shaded area, slight risk for severe storms. Again, high winds and hail. An isolated spin-up tornado is possible, but not very likely. And this, of course, was expanded that slight risk area compared to what the Storm Prediction Center had around here yesterday. And today, storms may be severe. Heavy downpours are possible today. I think the more widespread heavy rain, though, is going to be really starting tomorrow morning through much of the day tomorrow. And then we'll still have scattered storms the rest of the week and even into the weekend. All the details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority Samuel King, got that big problem still on 35?
Yes, we do, Mike. This is at FM 1103 in the Schertz area. So 35 main lanes there still closed. And you see the traffic there has been moved to the frontage roads southbound. And with the light, we're getting a better look at sort of the situation here, not just flashing lights. But you can see no traffic at all there on 35 southbound on those main lanes. This crash happened first reported around midnight. So now about 6.5 hours later, still seeing the impacts of this morning. So again, south of New Braunfels, in the Schertz area, 35 closed. That's what this gap is here. And you see the backup there leading up to this gap. So that's going to be affecting you throughout the day. Otherwise, we only have here in San Antonio a stalled vehicle at 35 and 90. So that's 35 southbound at US 90. It's really the only other major incident going on in town. So that's good news here. But so taking a look at your travel times around the region, up to 46 minutes coming in from New Braunfels to San Antonio. We've kind of anticipated that with that closure there on 35, 27 minutes from Bulverde and 24 minutes for our friends coming in from Bernie into the north and west into downtown San Antonio. So again, things looking pretty good at the moment, except for 35 in the Schertz area, and we'll continue to keep an eye on that. We'll have another update coming up. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, sir. Sleep has been hard to come by for some people in southeast Bexar County. Strong winds caused quite a bit of damage in the area of I-37 and Donop Road.
Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Katrina, you're at a motel that was hit especially hard. How did people there ride out the storm?
I talked to one man who says he's a native Texan, and this is the worst thing he's ever been through. Some scary times overnight, sleep not even an option. And you can see what they went through. A huge piece of the roof just hanging there, leaning down toward the pool of this motel, this Days Inn and Suites. There are big pieces of metal just like that all over the back parking lot. They just ripped right off the roof, and we can even see where they came off on this side. We were on the back side for most of the morning, but this is the front side of the motel where all of that material came off the roof due to those strong winds, landed in the parking lot, landed on some vehicles back there, and caused a little bit of damage to there. As far as we know, no one here at this motel was injured, but we have heard about a couple of injuries at the RV park next door. That's Bronick Lake RV Resort. A security guard there told us this morning that there were 2 people inside their RV when it was toppled by the strong winds overnight. He says that those people were taken to a hospital, but we are trying to confirm that KSAT. I've reached out to the sheriff's office and still waiting to hear back from them. But definitely a scary night at the very least for people at this motel and in this general area. Reporting live in Southeast Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. From the West Coast to the Gulf Coast, millions are experiencing a drought. Others are experiencing flooding.
Louisiana has declared a state of emergency after severe storms spawned a reported tornado late yesterday. But the most dramatic images are coming from the city of Lake Charles. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
An outbreak of severe storms causing this flooding emergency overnight in Louisiana. In Lake Charles, rescuers in boats and trucks pulling people from nearly 80 homes. Some parents giving piggyback rides to their kids, wading through waist-deep water, picking them up from school.
Obviously, I'll do anything to get to her, make sure that I can get her home. I have 2 other kids that are stuck in Queen of Heaven.
Yeah, that's a lot of water. The school bus making waves, driving through water up to its hood. More than a foot of rain falling Monday at Lake Charles Airport, its 3rd wettest day on record. In neighboring Texas, people bracing for more severe weather after 2 tornadoes and flash flooding in the Dallas area over the weekend. One woman says a twister damaged this home for the 2nd time in 2 years. She and her husband recently sold that house to another couple.
I don't know how to tell these people who've bought the house. I'm really upset about it for them because I've already lived through it and they were really excited about buying this house.
Meanwhile, on the West Coast, it's drought conditions causing concern. A fire in Pacific Palisades, California, was burning out of control into Monday. The flames spreading quickly, underscoring what experts say is becoming the new norm. They say climate change is fueling an earlier start to the fire season.
We normally don't have this type of fire, this size of fire in May. I think we really have to think about brush fires as a year-round challenge.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
New this morning, San Antonio police still looking for a suspect they say shot a man multiple times on the city's south side last night. Happened just before 10 near the intersection of Tabor Avenue and West South Cross after several shots were fired. That's where officers say they found the 30-year-old man in the driver's seat of a truck with several gunshot wounds. It was a passenger truck. That person was not hurt. It's unclear if the shooting happened while the man was driving or while he was parked. The victim was taken to Brooke Army Medical Center. At last check, he's in critical condition. There's still no word what led up to the shooting.
Police in Seguin are looking for a suspect they say tied up 2 pharmacists and took off narcotics and cash. And we showed you this trio back in December. 2 men and a woman are accused of robbing a Seguin pharmacy. Now, 5 months later and less than 5 minutes down the road, police say this man robbed a 10-minute pharmacy. Now, police believe he is the same man involved in the December robbery.
Targeting those guys is not only the job of law enforcement, it's also the job of the community. If there anyone out there that knows any of the person, come forward, let the police know.
Guadalupe County Crime Stoppers offering a reward of up to $5,000 for information leading to an arrest on these cases. If you have any information, you're asked to call the number on your screen, 877-403-TIPS.
Right now it's 6:39. We're in the mid-70s out there.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the radar. Again, we are expecting showers. It looks like they are getting close.
Head on GMSA. How much did you buy online during the lockdown, and how much of it did you actually need? How to turn that quarantine clutter into cash. Still to come.
And welcome back. It's about 6:42. COVID-19 caused a surge in online sales. In fact, research shows consumers spent 44% more online in 2020 than they did in 2019.
Only 44%?
Yeah.
Seems like more than that, right?
I think so.
There's a good chance that many of us probably bought more than we ever needed. Erica Hernandez tells us how to turn that quarantine clutter into cash.
Take a look around. Did you purchase more stuff than you need during the COVID quarantine?
Toilet paper.
Food.
I think I have like 20 collars for him.
Experts estimate COVID-19 related online shopping resulted in an additional $174.87 billion in e-commerce revenue in 2020. But if you bought too much, you can easily sell it. Amazon charges 99 cents for every item sold in addition to a referral fee that ranges from 8 to 20% of the item's price. eBay allows you to auction your items or charge a flat rate. You pay eBay 10% of the item's price, including shipping, but not taxes. Bonanza charges you 3.5% of your product's price plus the shipping price above $10. And Facebook Marketplace is a free platform that caters to local buyers and sellers. If you're unfamiliar with the company, check the Better Business Bureau accreditation before listing. Make sure the item you're selling is the focal point of your photos. Spell out everything in the description, including the brand and any defects, and price it slightly lower if you want to sell it quickly. Another option if you want to save time and effort is to take your stuff to a local consignment shop. You might make less, but the store does the selling for you. And remember, when selling an item online, most experts warn to never invite buyers to your home. Meet in a public place where there are a lot of people. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Just about 6:45.
Let's check back with Samuel King. Looks like things are looking a little better on 35.
Definitely a little better. Just within the past few minutes or so, they have reopened those southbound lanes there at 1103 there, Hubertus Road up there near Schertz area. So traffic is flowing well. They kind of changed the view of the angle here to the normal view you get. So that is going to be looking pretty good. This map is a little bit behind, but this has reopened it now, so we should be seeing some improvements here to those delays pretty soon. Now, we did see still some backups on the frontage roads because that's where traffic was diverted to. So let's take a look here at this travel time. Still about 44 minutes now from New Braunfels to Loop 410, but we do expect that to drop a little bit here coming up. So that is still very good news. Taking a look at some other travel times, 29 minutes coming in from Seguin to downtown. Saw some rain earlier in the Floresville area, 29 minutes coming in, still a fairly normal traffic time there. But there you see, this is our road conditions tool. Had some rain earlier, so there might be some wet roads here and there. So just watch out for that on your commute this morning, folks.
Thank you, Samuel. Mike has a new metric for a chance of storms. Is it a little bit of a chance or wider than a longhorn's horn?
Oh, there you go.
We're going with the long end. Okay, so
the long end
horns. Yeah, the longhorns. The one thing, beautiful picture, but thing that really stands out, look at how green it is out there with all this beautiful rain that we've had in some places, and not to, I said I wouldn't complain about any of the rain, but in some places it's definitely going to be too much. And I think especially tomorrow, and then it's just going to continue to get added to and added to and added to throughout the rest of the week. Very gray, cloudy out there. Roads are fairly dry right now. We really haven't had any rain, any substantial rain in the past couple of hours. The heaviest rain is down there to the south and east. That's the storm complex. And as you can see, going back 12 hours, this is the one that moved through right around Atascosa County, and then right on the back side of it. That's why we got those heavy winds here in town. So everything is pretty tranquil for the time being. This is live radar, just a few showers down to the southeast. Some of these have kind of fizzled on out there in parts of Atascosa County. One lone little shower in northeastern Medina County heading in toward the Medina Lake area, and that's it for right now. But as we go into the next few days, up to 6 inches of rain or more than that, well off to the north and east. And even on the scale, this light blue, that's one of the lesser amounts way out there in western portions of the hill country, which is still 1 to 2 inches of rain. So everybody is going to be getting a lot of soaking rain. And with the ground so saturated, that obviously is going to be causing a problem with runoff. So I think that will really starting tomorrow. There may be some heavy downpours today, but tomorrow we're looking at some very widespread rain. Today, we will have more showers and storms. This model in particular is picking up some even by the early afternoon hours. But I think the best or biggest concern tomorrow is this line right here. It's almost a bit of a front, which is going to be draping down through the area. And this is going to just sort of sit there. And so we'll continue to have a lot of that heavy rain throughout the day tomorrow. More of it going on in through the next couple of days. And notice how everything is kind of coming in here from the southeast. So what we have is a low, which is going to be parking down to the south of us. And that's going to continue with that counterclockwise spin. Now, flash flood watch is in effect up until 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. And then today we've got the severe threat, the slight risk for severe weather. And there's even the small risk for severe weather tomorrow, but I think the biggest threat tomorrow is going to be the widespread rain. Here's the culprit, that low just off to the north and west of us, and that pretty much is going to be hanging around here, and then it's going to set up shop right there, right along the coast, and that's what is continuing to throw those showers in here and those little disturbances, and that's going to be the situation in through the weekend. Today, we will make it to the upper 70s today at noon. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms will continue to pop up around here. More of them this afternoon, maybe some heavy downpours, and there's also the risk for some severe weather today. Severe weather risk tomorrow, but it's the heavy rain I think is going to be the biggest concern tomorrow, and temperatures will stay right around 80 through the weekend, and rain won't be maybe as widespread or heavy or as constant, but we'll still have more showers and storms even through the weekend.
Hard to believe all those days in a row.
Yes, indeed.
We'll be prepared. Thank you, Mike.
It's about 10 till 7 on your Tuesday.
And tomorrow on GMSA, we're going to meet a bright young man who aspires to help those within the LGBTQ community when our Great Graduate Series continues. That's tomorrow on GMSA.
Let's go outside with live cam. Buckle up, South Texas. More showers and storms on the way as we take a look at a very cloudy start to our day. The news you need to know before you go is coming up.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, flash flood emergencies and 20 reported tornadoes ripping up parts of Texas and Louisiana. I'm going to have the latest on the forecast and track those for you right here on GMA.
Nature has turned out to be an especially unwelcome guest at this motel here in Southeast Bexar County. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. Strong winds overnight ripped the roof right off this Days Inn and Suites here at Interstate 37 and Donnup Road. One man who was staying here told me he thought there was a multi-car pileup out in the parking lot. It turns out it was pieces of the metal roof that were crashing down. He says that the storm howled through around 12:30 this morning. Some of the debris landed on some of the cars in the back parking lot, causing quite a bit of damage. As far as we know, though, no one at the motel was hurt. However, we have heard that there were some injuries at an RV park next door. A security guard at the Browning Lake RV Resort told me that 2 people were inside their RV when it toppled over due to the winds, and he says that they were taken to the hospital for treatment. However, we are still waiting to confirm that. Reporting from Southeast Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
It may only be her first year teaching, but Miss Antonia Alderete is catching the attention of students, colleagues, and administrators alike. Her story on this week's Teacher Spotlight just ahead here on GMSA at 9.
We are approaching 5 minutes till 7.
Let's take one last look at the roads with Samuel King.
Stephanie, Mark, still seeing some delays coming out of New Braunfels this morning. Travel time up to 50 minutes after that crash here at 11:03. Fairly normal travel times everywhere else. 24 minutes on I-10 coming in from Bernie, 28 minutes on 281. From Bulverde, this is a look at the map. We still have that crash icon, but as we've mentioned, that crash has been cleared now here, but we are still seeing some residual delays, still some stop and go traffic there down to 6 miles per hour in that area. So that's just something to watch out for. Also starting to see our delays here on the east side, 410, I-37 to I-35, 14 minutes now. That, of course, builds here over the next hour, so that's something to watch out for. Also seeing some delays downtown as well. And here's a look at TransGuide, Loop 410 at Babcock this morning. That looks fine, Mike, but we can know that starts to build later this morning as well.
Thank you, sir. And lots of clouds. No rain is being detected in the area right now. We've got a lot of it down to the south and east, maybe a couple of scattered showers here and there. The winds have obviously settled down from what they were this morning, gusting 1 point up to 65 miles per hour down around Stinson Airport. 73 right now, a low 70s on average. And throughout the day, we'll make it up to 82 degrees. It is going to be windy today. More showers and thunderstorms going to be developing. Some heavy downpours today. And also there is that severe threat throughout much of the area, the slight risk for severe storms, high winds and hail, and the flash flood watch is in effect up until 1 o'clock Thursday.
All right, KSAT has you covered, folks.
Yeah, be careful out there, but thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here at 9.
Good Morning America is coming up next. We'll see you in a few hours.